name is Rivonia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is On the Couch with Rivonia. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. If you're part of the family, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I used to struggle with that word, notification. My tongue would just go the other way, so I have improved. We bless the Lord. As you can see by today's title, today we're talking about China. There is no way, there is like absolutely no way that I can make one video talking about all my experiences in China. Like, no. So I'm definitely gonna like make different videos about China. And I think the one video that I know I really need to make is a video of how I applied, what were the requirements, which website, because I do get that question a lot about the application process and what were the requirements and all of that. So that'll probably be my next video. So if you are interested in working in China, or you know somebody who's interested in working in China, that's definitely a video that you need to watch. So that'll be my next video. But today I'm talking about my process, whereby I'm done now with the application. The interviews were successful. I had 3 interviews and there was a lot of paperwork, by the way. So I'm done with that now. I'm leaving and I'm going to China. So let me get comfortable. I had an agent. So this was a lady who was in China. So this was the person that I was communicating with almost all the time. That agent sent me, we were emailing each other almost all the time. So she sent me an email. Her last email was about her wanting my confirmation, because I had told her about the flight that I would take and the time and the date and all of that. So she was just saying, can you just confirm that this is the date that you'll be arriving, the flight you'll be taking, you'll be arriving at this time, so that I can actually send somebody to fetch you immediately when you arrive. So I sent an email to that lady to say, yes, all the information that you've sent is correct. I will be arriving at that time at that place, Shanghai. My destination was Shanghai Airport. And I'm mentioning this information because it's very important information, because for some reason that lady never received that confirmation, like my last email. And believe me, I had exchanged so many emails with this woman, but for some reason the last one, she never received it. And my assumptions were just that she did. I probably should have checked and waited and confirmed as well, but I just assumed she did. So I packed my bags. I had already booked the flight, so I left for China. I remember that day my mom actually drove me to the airport. I was excited, nervous at the same time, but just mostly excited about just going far away, because I've always been very adventurous. So that was exciting. So yeah, it was a 14-hour flight. Oh God, like 14 hours. Like, I don't mind flying. I actually love flying, but 14 hours is a lot. So the good thing was that we actually stopped at Hong Kong. So normally if it's a long flight or international flight and it's long, you will have a stop, 1 stop or 2 stops. So we had 1 stop at Hong Kong, but I was new to the whole thing and I did not want to be exploring, because normally you use that time to explore the place. I don't want to use that time to explore. I was like, girl, you don't want to get lost in Hong Kong. You know nobody. Just go to a place whereby when the next plane comes, you get in, you go. And I did exactly that. So when the time came for us to leave, I left and we flew to Shanghai. I got to Shanghai. I was excited. I arrived midnight. I think it was 12 or almost 1. It was very late. I arrived around midnight. I got there. So normally if you are not a citizen of a country, you would fill certain forms. I think they call them immigration forms. I don't know what they call them, but something like that. I think it's immigration form, but I'm not sure, by the way. So if you know what they are, for those who have traveled outside, just comment below. So I filled those forms, and because I was busy filling those forms with the other foreigners, of course, it wasn't just me, there were a lot of foreigners. When I went to baggage claim to take my luggage was not there at all. So this is where the problem starts. This tea is nice. this is where the problem starts now. So firstly, I can't find my luggage, and then I'm thinking, I'll just ask somebody. I go to people, they don't understand anything. Like, as in, like, they don't understand hi. They have no idea what I'm saying when I say hi, hello. And I'm just like, wow. My phone is off. This is the moment I realized, you know what, it seems like nobody's coming to fetch me because I've been here for a while. So I keep looking for people, just meeting them and saying, please, can you help me? I lost my luggage. They don't understand. They just said Timbadong. Timbadong in Mandarin means I don't understand. Like, they just kept saying that. And finally, fortunately, I met this other policeman. I assume he was a policeman because he was dressed like a policeman. And he could speak like a bit of English, so he understood what I was saying, and he told me that no, just go to Lost and Found, and he directed me where that was. And then I went there, and I did finally, I found my luggage. Obviously, I was excited and relieved. So the next step was, girl, you need to get a place to sleep, because obviously nobody's coming to fetch you. Your phone is off. You need to get a place where you can also charge your phone. But before you do that, you need to also buy a SIM card. I remember that day I bought a SIM card for 400 rands. So it was like 200 yuan, because that's the money in China. It's like yuan. So it's like equivalent. I don't know. I went to China in 2015, guys. So it was like 6 years ago. It was a long time ago. I don't know now the difference, but then it was like, so if, let me explain it in a simple way. If you have 200 yuan, their money, when you came to South Africa and you exchanged it, you probably get 400 rands. So obviously there'll be like some charges and everything. You wouldn't get exactly, but that was like the equivalent. So it was just double money basically. So I bought the SIM card for 400 rands, and I remember I was like, it's just like not a phone, a simple SIM card. But I was desperate. I was at the airport, so I needed it. My phone was off either way, so I went out. I saw this other guy. He had some pamphlets, and I just assumed those were hotels. So I spoke to him, and fortunately, he could speak English. And obviously, I was very excited about that. So I just told him, dude, I need the cheapest hotel that you can get me. And I need a taxi or whatever mode of transport that can get me there. Obviously, he was actually very excited, ecstatic. I think that was his job, actually, to just get people to different hotels. So he did do that for me. I was taken to that hotel, which really did look like the cheapest hotel. I don't even know if I should call it a hotel, but yeah. But the good thing about that hotel is that they gave me food. They gave me food, and I was so hungry. I remember for the first time I had Chinese noodles. Like, I was like, what is this? And secondly, I had to use chopsticks, and I'd never used chopsticks in my life. Okay, I had used chopsticks before. I remember once with my cousin Prue, whom you've already met in one of my videos. My sister cousin, she's gonna kill me for saying that. My sister, my lovely, beautiful sister that I love so much. We went to try out, what were we trying out? I don't remember. Sushi? I think before that, maybe 2 years prior to me going to China. And I just realized I don't like using chopsticks. So yeah, only to find that in China, in like almost every restaurant, you have to use chopsticks. Like in most restaurants, they don't even have like a fork or a knife or a spoon. Fortunately, in some restaurants you'll find those, but in most of them, no. So you have, like, you even eat rice with chopsticks. Anyway, enough about chopsticks. I actually ended up loving the Chinese noodles. So I slept, woke up in the morning. I went to the receptionist. The receptionist could not speak English, which was another problem because but fortunately for me and her, she had an app whereby I could just type up whatever and she understood. So she understood that I needed to call my agent and tell her that I'm already in China and that they should come and actually fetch me. So she called my agent. My agent came. actually it wasn't my agent. My agent sent a driver to come fetch me, and then I finally got to my apartment, which was beautiful. If there's one thing I miss about China, was that apartment. It was like gorgeous, gorgeous. So I got to my apartment, and when I got there already, my bosses, two of my bosses were there, and they were just so sweet and so kind, and they were just like, they brought me food, and they were like, you know what, we know you're tired, you're probably jet lagged as well, so we're just gonna give you this time to relax, and just a couple of days to relax. So you'll come to the office when you feel like you're ready and you've rested. So yeah. Oh, and another thing, when I left South Africa, it was summer, and when I got there, it was winter. So I did not have any warm clothes. So the following day, you can imagine the first thing that I did, there was snow the following day, and the first thing that I did was actually go buy some really big coats, like big warm coats. And of course, when I got there at the shops, they did not understand English either, and it was fine, because I was just like, this one doesn't require a lot of language, we just have to use sign language. I mean, here's a code, there's a price tag, I got the money, I just put the codes here, and then I pay, and then that's it. So that wasn't a hassle. The hassle came when now I have to go back home. The problem with where I was staying in China was that most of their buildings were similar, like they looked the same, and the only difference were the names, and the names were written in Mandarin, and I could not read Mandarin. So I got lost, and it was freezing cold, like it was so cold. And I'll go to the security guard at the gates, and the moment I say hello, they could not understand anything. So that was me, lost and cold in China. Like, China made me strong. Well, though it's not all negative, I had like some amazing time also in China. I'm still gonna share about all my experience in China. Anyway, finally, the good thing was that our bosses actually made us cards. So if you were new, you would have this card. So this card was written in, I think it was also in English and also in Mandarin, to explain where we were from, like our addresses, a person to contact in times of emergency, and so many other things. So those people could see from the address, from the paper, the card that I had, that, oh, here's your address. So one person went there with me and directed me there. So that's how I finally got to my place. Oh my god, there is so much to say about China. One other thing, I think at the place where I was literally the only black person. So you can imagine, there were people, so many people who saw me, who were seeing a black person for the first time ever in their lives. So you can imagine the reactions, whether I go to work, whether I go to the supermarket, whether I go to the movies, wherever I was going, or to restaurants, there will always be people taking out their phones, or when we were in a bus traveling, which is why I really just preferred using a taxi. At first, it was fun. I was like, I feel like I'm a celeb here, but then it really got annoying. Like, can I just have a normal life? Like, this is too much. Sometimes even in class, some of my older students would like sneak out, take out a phone and try to sneak out, like, and take a picture of me. I'm like, dude, why can't you just ask a picture of me? We can even take it together. Like, why do you have to do that? Really? So there's a lot to say about China. So let me just say, to be continued. Yeah, to be continued.